Hi y'all, this is Jeff from Jeff's Gardening Tips. This is like mid-August, like August the 12th. This is when the garden starts to suffer with a lot of different things. Not only the heat, but the heat index, and even if you're watering every night, it gets a little tougher on things. So we come over here now, you can see the beans are, they produced real early this year. They're starting to come back now. As it gets it's hot now, but if you look in there and see them, they'll start to come back now because they're not getting as much sun as they were before. Potatoes are starting to come back a little bit. They were pretty much dead. The yellow squash is starting to bloom back up again. Certain things, after this week of a lot of heat we have, or next week, this week and the week before, it's got a little different. You can see the sweet potatoes are just taking over the whole garden. Cucumbers, you can see there's 4 or 5 on there, but I cleaned it up. But it's just that time of year where squashes, cucumbers, and certain vegetables like that just do not. I've had such a big production of everything, and once they get producing so much, it's hard to believe they produce this far. Normally, end of July, third week of July, they really start suffering. So this year's been a lot better. A lot of tomatoes in there, big boys in there. Picked a ton off of there the other day. I already posted those pictures to my Facebook and Instagram account. My Instagram account is Jeff's Gardening Tips on Instagram, so you can see all that. And I post the videos plus pictures of our gardening harvest of what we have, and I make some videos of it so you can kind of see what does come out of a garden when it's productive. This is the big old patty pan here. I just cleaned this one off. This one's been real productive. You can see one growing. Whoa. Right there, right in front of my thing. Got another one growing there. It's just, this patty pan's just amazing this year. And then we got our yellow cucumbers. I think that one's seen its better days. One to far into the garden looks a little worse, but it's still producing. You can see the brownness in the core, and I pulled another 5 ears off of here. This weekend I'll probably pull whatever's left off of here. There's probably another 4 or 5 ears on there, and that'll kind of be that for that. And if you look down here, you'll see the acorn squash is back in there, and a big one over there. So I got 3 big acorn squash to get off here. They finally overcame the tomato plants. Cherry red tomatoes are still doing their thing. They weren't looking so good the other day in the dire heat, but I have been watering, so hopefully it'll come back. As I had a lot of vitamins this late in the year, it's just gonna hurt them more. You can see one of them small little yellow cucumbers right down there. I have to look around. I see 2, 3. A lot of these have gone because I've picked so many of them. But like I said, they're about the size of a hardball, and they get the full size, or a little smaller than a hardball, and got stripes and they're yellow. And like I said, I don't eat them. My wife says they're good. Jalapenos by the, whew, hate the salmon there on that bush. The one behind it is purple bell pepper, which I picked completely dried out. I hope these jalapenos are ready to go. My neighbor eats some of this stuff. All my neighbors, I give them some stuff. You can see some red mom tomatoes down there, and this bush produced pretty heavy early on, so I don't know how much more I'll get, but I do see some yellow flowers and flowering coming back on. And believe it or not, people think tomatoes like hot weather. They do, but not hot weather. So that's not exactly what turns them red. It's time. This is banana peppers, you can see here. Now there's quite a few in there. I got another bush of these here, and you can see them all down on there. This is you can see one growing right there, and that's a yellow squash. This plant's been amazing this year also. Got a daggone dead one right there. When they're like that and dead, you just gotta get rid of them so they don't keep trying to get in disease into the plant. That's the only one I see. This one I'll be pulling out soon. I pulled quite a few plants out of here tonight, but they're real small cantaloupes, as you can see. And they're really not, see, that one just fell right off right there. Oops, so that one just fell off without me touching it. Let's see what this one's doing. So did that one. So I don't even know if they're gonna even taste any good. But there's another one down there, which is just the third one, but I don't know where This plant, this cantaloupe started a little bit late. This bush just a little bit later than the other one. The other one got much bigger. I pulled the pumpkins out. They were rotting out and had bugs everywhere. So you can see this pumpkin right there starting to turn orange. I gotta let that sit out and pull the pumpkin plants out because they're a big bug inhibitor, and they're just they were inhibiting the bugs and just following us all around here. I pulled two massive patty pans off here the other day in my pick, and I think I just lost it. See, it just fell off. That's it. That's what's wrong now. It's too soft. We lost that one, but as healthy as this bush is and the way they've been going this year, not saying I wouldn't expect more patty pans come on there. That's bell peppers back in there, which are doing fantastic. There's more jalapenos right here. That's just, you can't see them behind all the leaves, but it's just a crazy amount. This here is, if you look back in here, you'll see that's a white eggplant. Now these grew real good last year, but I didn't put that one until late. Just I wanted to see if they would grow after the other ones, and they did. I got one big one out of here. I come back from Florida on Monday, so I come out and did a huge pick on Tuesday, and there was a big white one there, so I'll get another one there, maybe a couple more, because the eggplant like hot heat, but they don't like it like crazy sometimes. Now the red beans I took off here, you can still see there's a couple of those red green beans on there, but most of them for the most part are gone. I trimmed this way back. This zucchini took a lot out. I'm not sure if she's even gonna do anything else. I'll give it a couple more days just to see if it's gonna produce anything, and I'll give you a close-up of that. You can see that white eggplant right there. They're pretty cool. This is the big eggplant that I've been getting tons off this year, and I just took the rest off of that one. See, some of the leaves are looking droopy, and I even trimmed it, so that's a come and see, because you can see it's getting taller, and they're still, if I remember right, walking around this. When I was watering here earlier, I thought I saw, don't make me wrong, that's where I cut one off. You can see them starting right here. See right there, so there's 4 or 5 of those that are still gonna, we'll see if there's enough time for them to keep going, but doing that at the back of that tomato plant right there. Got a couple big old red ones in there. More sweet potatoes over here. Like I said, they take over with the green beans and the zucchini. This was cantaloupe and this was melon, but I'm going to be ripping them out because that's them green leaves you see are from the sweet potatoes. It's just gone. Everything's produced off of them, and they just don't do good this time of year. This is another one. This was an English cucumber plant, and it produced better than anyone I ever had, but you can see it's just hot weather just got to that, and there's still some green beans on this green bean bush. This is a bush bean, so it's still going. You can see a gray zucchini growing right there on that one. You can see laying right down there on the ground is look like cucumber off this cucumber bush, but I don't know. You see one growing there. I don't think there's going to be much. This is way after the date for cucumbers in this area to survive, and you can see them kind of. I show you this, what's drying up, shriveling up, not looking too good, so we're gonna have to most likely pull that out because it's just getting strangled by the sweet potatoes. This is another patty pan. Once again, it's unbelievable. We'll just have to see how it keeps making out. It's produced like crazy this year, to my amazement, but we'll see. There's none on there now, but I did just pick quite a few off. It's another bell. I got 4 or 5 off here the other night in my trays that I already took in. You can see now there's one Japanese eggplant going there. I pulled probably 3 or 4 off here tonight and threw them out in the grass because they were dried and shriveled up. Even though I'm watering, it's that time of year. You can see I pulled this yellow completely out of this yellow cherry tomato plant. I completely ripped that. It was just completely brown and shriveled up, but it produced like crazy. And this red one's starting to get there now. It's still got some green in it, but it's hurt. You can see the plum tomatoes starting to come in on that smaller bush like I have on the other side. So that one looks healthy, but that was a later production. Another eggplant here. You can see the purple flower right there. That means there's an eggplant coming. This thing has produced well beyond what's normal this year. So That's incredible. This is my yellow zucchini. You can see one growing right back in there now. I pulled, I think, 2, maybe 3 big ones off here, and you can see it looks greener now. Don't look perfect, but it looks greener. But I trimmed a ton of stuff. I had to get some air back to it to see if I could get anything to work with it. You look over at that big zucchini bush you've seen through that over there. That thing's trimmed down to nothing. I don't expect anything else out of that, but we'll see. But I trimmed it way back and left some healthy stuff, and we'll see what happens. But this cucumber's starting to shrivel up there, but it's flowering over here, and I pulled 2 nice cucumbers off here this past Tuesday. So it's hard to say sometimes. Gardening, it's a little finicky at times. Once again, this is potatoes underneath, Yukons underneath here, but this is plum tomatoes, and this thing has just been outrageous. It's just had so many. You can see one right there. I pulled buckets of these off, and I just hit these the other night. You can see that cucumber, just because it looks bad back at the stem, really means something with these things, because they're wanting to call over here. They're wanting to come in here and take care of this thing too. So, and they're growing here, so we'll just give it a chance. This is the butternut squash, which I will be transplanting tomorrow night, because I'll be taking the bigger buckets that I have the old cucumbers and some stuff in, and get rid of product that's in there that's already gone pretty much, and putting these in there. Give them a little more room. More bell peppers there. That was a late bloomer. I put that in late, but now it's about 3 foot high and starting to go. This yellow squash, and that's a yellow squash, both of them in a 5-gallon container. I still can't believe you can see the stem there, but that's growing over there. But all 3 of them we're still producing. That's the 2 big pumpkin things I had earlier, and I just ripped them out and threw that all over in that big pile of debris that I've been ripping out and cutting out of the garden. It's just been affecting the garden. This doesn't look too healthy, this pepper plant, but that's because I just put a basket around it. Wouldn't look too good. I thinned out this yellow cucumber, yellow tomato plant, cherry tomato plant. See, they're coming back now, but it was in rough shape. It was dying out, so we'll see how it does, but it is starting to come back. Another purple pepper plant. It's just starting to come back a little bit. This one was down to nothing. This is another cucumber. I did not think this would survive. The same as that bigger one over there. It looks like nothing, but you can see there's flowers coming off it now, and leaves, and the same as this one. So I hate to say never. I'm not going to take it out, because you see there's some dry stuff and some nasty stuff on here, but you never say never, because sometimes you'd be amazed at Mother Nature and how it just, you think you know it and you don't. And it comes back to bite you. Another pepper plant. This is kind of a picked dry by me. It was a banana type pepper plant. Here's another one, banana peppers on it. Where's that? There's one right there, but you see they're smaller, because I kind of went through this one too. You can see those growing right back in there off this other bush. This bush just looks terrible, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my gosh, I'm losing my mind. That one's growing off it, but it's not going to last. I can tell you, this was a cucumber bush. Well, it was, nothing there now. It produced like crazy, but I finally took it out. It was just too disease-ridden with potato bugs. It's another bell pepper plant that was being overgrown by squash. I took the squash out. Another red cherry plant. It's starting to come back. I trimmed it way back. It was up here and way over. You can see a yellow zucchini on there, another one down there. We'll see how this goes too. I thinned this way out. It's getting towards that time of the year, and I only got 1 melon left on this plant. The other one have all gone in, and it's got a ways to grow, but I don't know if it'll make it, but we'll see. It's just been a while. These are chili peppers, and there's been a ton of these. When they're really ripe is when they turn red. I've only had 2 red ones so far, but when it gets September and October, it gets a little cooler, they definitely turn cherry. You see the green beans down on here, and there's some big massive ones in here, but I picked this thing pretty clean earlier too. When I did this. There's one right there, and there's one right there, and I'll get the rest of them this weekend. But you see, they're getting nice and big. And, yeah, they're great to fresh. Eat right off the stem. You can see they're still 30, 40 tomatoes left in this plant. But it did slow down from not producing, but when it gets real hot, they stopped readying themselves to be picked. So this week it's supposed to cool down again, so it'll get better. And you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 on the far side, 5, 6. There's 6 bell peppers on that one. This plant's just about done. Got a couple green ones left on here. One red one looks like it's drying out. But this will be very close. Some of these specialty tomatoes don't last that long. Another yellow squash. You can see the lady cucumbers right on there. I mean, ladybugs. This one's got something growing on it, but it's produced real good. And so that bell down there and the tomatoes in that can, they all produce, but it's that time of year where even though you think, oh, it's still summer, that ought to be kicking butt, this is the raw part of summer where we're not getting a lot of rain, and anybody tells you, oh, you keep watering your garden, everything will stay perfect. Well, you can water all you want to, but the only good water for your garden is Mother Nature, let me tell you. And the water Mother Nature puts down makes things grow. The water we put down has chlorine and everything in it. It helps keep things going, but when it gets to a point, you got to have some help in this part of the year, because, you know, hose water's all right, but it's just not Mother Nature. So you see I pulled a lot of stuff out of here, cut a lot of stuff back. I got a pile here of stuff that was just all green that wasn't breathing. There's a pile of stuff here, pile of stuff over there I still got to pick up. So I got a lot to clean up and a lot more to still take out to keep this thing going for a little while longer. I'm not saying doom and gloom. There's still a lot to be produced, and still some will come out of here, but mainly from this point on, it'll be like eggplants, tomatoes, and peppers. The other stuff's seen its prime part of the year, and I start so early and have this stuff out here in mid-April to early May, way before anybody else. So my season ends earlier than most people, and that's why my production's higher, because I come out when it's cool and start with the cool weather vegetables, get them going, then put the medium and high temperature vegetables, whatever, out after that. And I try to stay ahead of the curve so I don't have to deal with this at this time of the year. And generally in September, normally my gardens will grow tomatoes and certain stuff until September, October. They did last year too, but the production will be way down. But if it starts getting cool nights and not as hard during the day, actually, believe it or not, stuff will start to come back for me a little bit. You can see the blueberries are starting to come in a little bit again. Raspberries, I had to cut them way back. They weren't looking too good. There's one strawberry over there, but this is pretty much these strawberries. I cut all the mint off. It's seen its better days. But the strawberries are still hanging in here, but they're not producing, not in this weather, no way. They like hot weather, but they don't like scalding hot, and that's kind of what they're going through now. But I watered everything over here 2 nights ago, like it's never been watered before, and it's still having a hard time making up for where it was at that time a week or two ago. So pretty much where I am. The chives and everything up by the porch and greens and everything are doing good, and they get some, but not the full sun this stuff does. You can see how bad it's been out here. We're in August, and if you look over here, I mean, first off, my yard's half brown, but you can see all the leaves dying off the trees and falling this early in the year. My favorite tree is my fir tree, but all these trees I put in by myself, and I grew from little 6-inch and 1-foot stalks. I might have purchased 5 trees out here. Let me show you this tree out here. I might have purchased 5 from places that were just on sale and dying that I put in and baby back, like that pear and maybe one of these, I'm trying to think what the white tree is called. I can't think of it right now. Birch. The white swamp birches came from somewhere. You can see it still looks like it right now, but I can see it's dried up. It's starting to dry up, and I put that in maybe 2 years ago, and it was maybe 12 inches tall. There's a couple over that side of the yard. I don't know if you can see them through here. And they're just getting bigger all the time. But you can see like this tree here I got from my friend is Kathy, is a Chinese lemon tree. And when they get all yellow at the end of the year, you just pick them up and put them in a bowl and put them in your bathroom or somewhere, and they're like a scented candle, and they smell real good. She said she puts them in her tea. Not me, but that's what she does. My wife has done it. But you can see there's tons of those on there, and the tree's just getting bigger, but you can see it's so loaded that it's towards me is where the sun is most of the time. So every year I got to cut that way back to try to even it out, or otherwise I'll lose it. And I do have it all roped up, but you can see it's starting to lean again just because of the weight of the tree being way over there. So I got to cut that one way back and get that going again. But as you can look in here, while I'm here, just look at those needles on this thing. They are massive. When I ride by here and forget about it sometimes on my tractor, trust me, I don't forget about it much, because it will slice you open and bring a tear to the eye. They are a good 2-3 inches long, and they are massive, and they don't break off. Holly's looking pretty good. Need some water. I'll have to get some water in here, but this is just, I don't think in all the years I've ever been here I've seen this many leaves on the ground. I see them back there too, back near my burn area, but up here and even out front. And when they get this bad to try to water them now, people say, "I see, you're really not helping them. They're past that point. They're just gonna lose release." I just have to come out either late this fall or early in the spring and get some treatment in the ground and open it up and put some good fertilizer in there and everything, because the rest of the trees up high are doing good. It's just been too much. You can even see in that big maple up there I put in. I found there's some dead ones up there, but it's just part of the growth period. Okay, let me let you go. I've been talking long enough. This is Jeff from Jeff's Gardening Tip. Please go out to YouTube, and all you do is type in Jeff's Gardening Tips, and you can just, if you would, like and share and subscribe to my page. There's plenty of videos out there for y'all. I'm going to keep going as long as the season permits, and I'll be out in the winter doing some burning and landscaping and stuff like that too. So hang in there and be good. And also check us out on our Instagram. That's Jeff's Gardening Tips also. Just go right out there, and then I'm little by little putting videos together of the harvest, and plus I do post pictures of the harvest, and you'll be pretty amazed with the harvest we've had this year out here. So I get a chance, go out and check them YouTube and Instagram page out, and like and subscribe, and I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon. Thanks.